We believe that making an invoice should be one of the easiest things that you do. So, we have several ways that you can create an invoice. So, let's say you just came here for invoices. You could actually start from your dashboard and focus, and you could say, okay, I am ready to create an invoice. You'll choose your clients. You can choose which of these invoice types you want to create. A standard is just kind of a regular invoice. If you just watched the invoice template video, that's kind of your standard invoice. If you want to collect a deposit, you can collect a deposit and then apply that to future invoices. You can create a payment plan or recurring invoice. I'm going to do a whole video on just those. So for right now, if you want to just create an invoice as quickly as possible, I suggest using this quick invoice assistant. You could say, create an invoice for $1,000 for my cool candle that I made. The assistant is going to try to get you to add in a few more details. I'm going to say, do your best. It's going to pull up, let's see, we'll confirm 30 days. It needs to be paid by. And here is the invoice that it's going to create for me. Here is that invoice. It's based off of my invoice default template. You can see here's my cool candle for, a cool $1,000. I've got my payment instructions in here. And that's how you could quickly just create a one-off invoice. Let's say you want to create invoices based on some products and services. That's going to be here. You would go and create just a standard invoice. So we'll go back in here. We'll create a standard invoice. And then we're going to use add new line items. So if you wanted to just add something that you're never going to use again, like let's say a cool candle. Here's my cool candle. I don't know why that's the example that I'm using, but here we are. I can do that. So there's my cool candle that I am using. If you have some products and services that you use all the time, you could use this add product and service for your product and service library. So I've created a bunch of things here. So let's say you're doing community management. I've already got all of that situated in here, my rate, the quantity, and all of those things. So I'm going to just use that line item in here. And you can see we're doing all of the math here for you. If you are tracking your projects, either paying by hour or retainer, or you are doing a fixed rate fee for your projects, that's when you can do tracked hours or billable projects. So it's going to read within my client what things remain unbilled. So in this case, I have a recurring project set up here that is supposed to pay me this $1,500 every single month. So here are all of the months I haven't yet put on an invoice. In this case, this is a fixed price. So I could choose this and I could say, oh, they are only going to pay me part of that today because we talked about it, or however you, if that's how that works for you. You could alter the amount, or you can just say like, yep, they're going to pay me for that fixed price project today. And then we've got our hourly projects. So if I had some tracked hours here, you would see that there are hours, and then I could choose, oh, okay, here are all of the hours that I want to add to my invoice. So we'll go ahead and add a couple of these items to this invoice as well. And you can see I've got my SEO, that web design, and those are attached to projects. So when I go to send this invoice, I could also go back into my client. I can go look at those projects and I can see that that has been placed on this invoice. The last way that you could add to your invoices is based on your agreements. So when you go to create an agreement, you can add in your invoice right within your agreement. So in this case, I've got this finalized. So here in my agreement, I've got my packages. My client's going to pick those packages, and then they are going to pay. Let me find the one that I actually have here where you have the amount paid. So on here, I've got my Stripe checkout right on my invoice. So they are going to choose what they're going to pay, and they are going to pay that invoice right here within my my agreement. If you don't want to do that and you want to have, kind of your invoice, maybe your agreement is really long, and you don't want your clients to have to worry about that, you could, if you don't have this box in here, you don't have these, the integrated payment in here, then you could go into your settings and you could say, I want to automatically create the project and invoices. So based on what your client chooses here, Moxie is going to create an invoice for you as well as all of the projects. And if you wanted to review that, you could turn this on. You can choose which invoice template you're using. And then once your client signs this agreement, then the invoice will be created and you'll see it in your notifications. So if you go over here, you would see in your notifications, let's see, I think I have one for you to see. Yep, you'll see here's like an invoice that is ready for my approval. So you could click on that, you can say view invoice, and then you could share that invoice either by a Moxie email or you can download a PDF and send that invoice manually in another email system.